There are a few things that a narcissist hates more than the truth. You can understand this because the truth is one of the few things that would poke a hole in every aspect of the way they choose to live. The truth would collapse the grand narratives that they put together, this beautiful false reality that they get people to believe and buy into and feed into. All of that would be gone. Truth is not their friend when most of the time the way they get what they want is through manipulation. They have no affinity for truth because truth would mean that they would have to tell what actually happened in their past, what they're actually doing at the moment, and what they could potentially do in the future. And none of those things are rosy, but that's what the truth would reveal. If you realize that a narcissist is operating from a defensive place, a place of scarcity, and a need to feel safe because they feel extremely insecure, then you understand that the narrative and the lying, they're all part of defense mechanisms to enable this extremely compromised and deficient person to allow them to keep surviving in some fashion without completely falling apart. And the truth would not enable them to continue to utilize the defense mechanisms they rely on. There are some that do start to pay some attention to these things and become somewhat aware, but by and large it's so rare that it's effectively non-existent. For whatever reason, it's too difficult for them, for their psyches to feel safe. And so things like the truth, loyalty, they just seem like not a priority to a narcissist. Now, why am I highlighting these things? Because if you understand this, you understand that your truth-telling, as someone who isn't a narcissist, your truth-telling puts you in danger if you are around a narcissist. They feel a need to defend themselves, they're in fear. The narratives that they put in place, the manipulations they orchestrate, are to place a protective barrier around them, to preserve the masks that make them look good and help others to perceive them in a way that makes them feel safe. If you consider that whole system, then you understand that what we, the average human or an empath, sees as one of the most beautiful, honorable, noble things to hold up high, i.e. the truth, narcissists see as one of the most frightening, threatening, and ultimately in their system of values, the most evil thing for them. Because anything that threatens them, not actually threatens them, we have to make this distinction. It's not about what threatens a narcissist necessarily. It's about what they perceive to threaten them, which makes it more dangerous. This is why, if you've engaged with narcissists, you'll, for any length of time, enough to see the way they behave, you can be doing the most selfless, loving, good thing for yourself and them, and they will punish you for it because they do not perceive it in the spirit with which it's being given. They perceive it through the lens of their distorted worldview, their inverted value system. What to the rest of us is something laudable. After all, the truth will set you free, right? That's not how they see it. The truth crumbles their empire. I remember I once said to my narcissistic ex, I said, you have no value, you have no interest in the truth at all, ever. You hate the truth. Every time I try and tell you something to give you insight about yourself or our relationship, it's not to hurt you, it's so that we can change and improve and make things better. If you know, that's where you get the smirks and the sneers and the silent treatment, which they'll later gaslight you never happened. But yeah, I said, you have no interest in the truth at all, unless someone owes you money. And then you absolutely are interested in the truth, and you remember exactly how much money they owe you and how long it's been since they haven't paid you. Which was absolutely true. Because the only time that a narcissist will be interested in the truth is if it feeds into their own agenda. They have no inherent interest in the truth. They don't value the truth inherently for what it does, what it can be, what it provides us with. They only want it when it happens to serve their agendas. You can see how, even if they're confronted with the truth, undeniably, they still do everything within their power to levels of insanity to refute and refuse the truth. And they're not without skill in this regard. They are masters at twisting the truth, inverting the truth, telling lies of omission so that they only tell what looks good from the situation and leaving out the negative aspects so that people draw false conclusions, but there's enough truth within it to further that aspect of the narrative. Anyway, I hope that was informative. I hope you can see a little bit more into why and how the truth is something that the narcissist never wants. And that when you provide it, because what is truth in the context of our relations with the narcissist? It's clarity, it's understanding, it's insight. These things are all diametrically opposed to the fantasy world that they desperately, desperately cling to. And they will lose everything and everyone in order to hold on to that. And when I say everyone and everyone, everything and everyone, I even mean lives. Lives will be lost in the pursuit of maintaining something that never, ever was. Thank you for watching this message today. If you enjoy the things that I talk about or get some clarity from them, please do consider liking and subscribing, and maybe even sharing the video. Till next time.